Okay, well, according to my live button here, we are live. So, hello once again to everyone listening right now. It is another Lewis Michael show, and it's the place on the web, like many other channels, where I bring on aspiring comic book creators and established comic book creators to show off their current projects and speak a little bit more about what they've done before and what they're planning to do in the future. And with me today, I got Scott Bain, which is promoting his Chaotic Flux issue 1. How are you, Scott? Everybody okay there?
Yeah, pretty good, Lewis. How are you?
I'm fine. And then we also have promoting a book called Victor Locke, Demon Noir, Nathan Masters, hailing from Chicago. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Awesome, awesome. We're still here. We're still here, and we also have a sparkling, great-looking book, Through the Woods, by Vinny Tartamella, and you're both the artist and the writer on this one. Is that correct?
I'm a co-writer. My brother wrote most of the story. Yeah,
And you
but
you,
yeah,
you are the
I
artist.
did. Yeah, I did all the artwork on there, even the lettering.
Awesome. So that's Vinny, and you'll be speaking Through the Woods uh, later on. And also, I like to mention that always leaving a shout out to any creators, amateur creators or semi pros, or anyone that would like to come over to the show. I think is an essential part of the indie community, or what might be called in other corners, I got your back, brother. So it's really, it's not so much a public service that I like to provide, but it's something that I believe is very important. So anyone should have a chance to show off their work. And again, anyone that wants to get in touch and come over is always welcome to do so. I've been getting a little bit of feedback, especially from guys that have already kind of launched their careers and they're already a bit established. Um, and the feedback is that this is merely a showcase. Is not so much that. I mean, it goes beyond that. Myself, as a creator, I know how hard it is those first steps up the stairs, especially growing up in a place where there wasn't really much of a comic book culture focus, and it was very difficult to get things across, especially when you're self publishing and self launching everything. Also, there is a once people do get a little bit established, there tends to be the tendency of relaxing a little bit, of relaxing into the status that just acquired. And it's also never good also to do that, because unless you really are one of the top dogs in the entertainment industry, you're never out of the woods. Just kind of a nod to the third book we have here today, meaning that um, you're here today, but tomorrow, people might lose faith in your projects, and they might lose faith in your creativity. So it's always good to give a chance every day, every month of the year, to anyone coming and showing their projects. Well, with that said, I'm going to start screen sharing our first book here tonight, which is Chaotic Flux. Just give me a little minute here, just while I have to go through the motions. There we go. Okay, so I suspect everybody should be watching Chaotic Flux right now. This is the Indiegogo page. So these three projects today are all on Indiegogo. And I'll ask Scott now. I had seen this before. I think before you launched the campaign, I came across images from this book, and yeah, it's all great. It all looks wonderful, and you got a team to work with you, right?
You mean a team of artists?
Yeah. Where did you find these guys?
I actually did a kind of so there's some websites you can go to where you can kind of put out I guess you could say artist searches for comic book artists.
All right.
I can't remember what that one was called that I did. There's a couple I did. I did actually on the on some the forums on DeviantArt.
Oh
I
yeah,
put out
that's
that on
usually a good
there,
place.
and I can't remember the other one was called. There's another one I did as well, and that one's actually where I found my colorist. I believe the DeviantArt is where I found my illustrator. And he's good friends with a colorist named Brian Belando, and they have had worked together before. And they showed me some of their work, and I saw that they work really well together.
Mhm.
And then, so he introduced me to him, and I saw that they do work so well. And I was like, well, yeah, let's get this guy, and they all gave me pretty good deals on pay rates. So I was really thankful for that. And then next thing we know, here we are.
Okay, here we go. That's your team here. So you're doing the writing on this. You got Brian Belando is doing the art, and Brian McNahee is doing the colors. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it all looks great. I think I think you found a good team. They all work well together. There's definitely some chemistry here.
Yeah.
But tell me, these these creatures, the whole conceptual art for this, did you left it all in the hands of the artist, or did you had previously
Well,
come up with most of this or design most of this?
this project definitely was more of a collaborative thing, where I mean, I had the vision in my head how I wanted a lot of it to look, but not exactly. I guess you could say there's a lot of things I couldn't envision exactly how I wanted to look in terms of making it look realistic but stylized at the same time. So I basically took some images that I have found online that were about 4 or 5 or more of kind of get what I was going for, and I submitted those to my illustrator, and he kind of threw that all together, and then but twisted it and made it look very original, very different than what it's still similar, but at the same time different from what I showed him, so that it still came up with a very unique look and style.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's usually a good way to go. Yeah.
Mhm.
And what is the story about? Just give us a little nutshell of what it
Okay.
is.
Well, let me do the pitch. I can do the pitch.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. In the distant future, an exosuit pilot must unite a ragtag group of very unique warriors to save a dying Earth from a plague of mutant abominations and a genocidal dark entity born of the hatred of all humankind. So it's definitely a team-based comic, similar to X-Men or the Avengers or even Justice League. I'd say more so X-Men, the vein of X-Men, and it's about these warriors that come together in a common goal to save the Earth from the Dread Fiends and this dark entity called Malachar.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted the team members to be very unique from one another, but also fit well together in terms of kind of like how the X-Men all kind of fit in the right way to where they complement one another both in character but also in abilities.
Right.
So I had a lot of influence from video games, playing a lot of RPGs where you have this character is say a tank base, so like a warrior, and this one's like a rogue type, and this one's a mage. So I kind of designed them in that way as well, so that they complement one another. And like, if one guy lacks in armament, but he's more of a damage dealer, you have the other guy who is more armament and can protect him and shield him and so on. So the Strife, the big mecha in it, he is a big support unit in the team. He provides a lot of defense and crowd control for the team, because of these Dread Fiends. There's so many of them, and they can overwhelm the team. Also, Malachar has this big army that he forms eventually in the storyline of all kinds of interesting creatures that he creates. And then Sathara, she's more of a rogue type. She's the focus of issue 1, actually. She's an alien hybrid, and she can create these crystallized structures that she can use as different weaponry. And she's very swift and agile and stealthy, like a rogue. So she's that type of character.
Mm-hmm.
And Soren is the leader of the team. He is a exosuit pilot, and he's kind of a jack of all trades type character. So he has heavy weaponry and armament, and can handle lots of enemies at once. But he's not like an expert in anything. He's good at everything, but not an expert in all the types of combat.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see, there is also Nalaria. She is a fire mage. She comes to the story a little while later. She's not in actually issue 1. There's also Pagan. He's a plant mage, or I'm sorry, a plant-based mage. Their father and daughter, Nalaria and him. She's a fire berserker battle mage, while he's a more traditional kind of sorcerer, but uses plant magic. So he uses a lot of like vines and things like that to entangle enemies and rip enemies apart. And then there's also Gareth. Gareth is a big muscle-bound, 8-foot tall, double sword-wielding warrior type character, and his sword can transform into a double-bladed sword. It also transforms another way that I'm not revealing yet. But yeah, so he's like this big powerhouse type of character. And they're called the Crimson Flame. Eventually in the storyline that comes to be known that they'll be called the Crimson Flame in the storyline. And they represent humanity's last hope in this dark future.
Awesome. Well, it all sounds great, man. I mean, you got a combination there. So he seems to be very much mostly oriented towards the, like you mentioned before, the RPG kind of thing, right? So you have quite a few characters there, and they all have these powers. I mean, these stats, these abilities that they all have kind of work together to kind of represent themselves up to their full extent of their abilities. But have you ever seen a comic book called Weapon Zero?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Well, you should. Everybody should give that a check anyway. That's published by Image back in the days.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that one. Joe Benitez.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Back in the 90s, and obviously your Max here and the creatures as well kind of remind me a little bit of that, because it was a good combination they had, because they had both these power suits and all their characters. They kind of they're like mutants as well, because they all have their own abilities, but these very much mixed with gadgets, with armors and stuff like that. So they kind of create weapons. They're able to mutate their armors to create whatever kind of weaponry they want. And there's always there's an alien civilization basically that they have to defeat. And these aliens, they have these, they have a menagerie of creatures and monsters as well. So it kind of reminded me a little bit of that, which was quite a cool book, and it really has that feeling of the 90s. And and your robots here, your mech guys, they kind of have that feel of anime as well, of manga basically. So that's pretty cool. And this is the first issue of a series of how many you mentioned here in the cover. I'm just trying to roll down to the cover again. But this is a first issue of how many?
I'm not exactly sure yet. It's going to be kind of long. I know that. I've got a lot of story to tell. A lot of character development and relationships that happened in the storyline, as well as a lot of traumatic events. But I would have to say it's probably going to be somewhere in the range of maybe 30 to 50 issues.
Oh, wow, that's quite ambitious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's I mean, how much work has this one issue gave you?
I think we finished it in about 3 months, maybe a little less than 3 months.
All right, so it was quite a quick process then.
Yeah, my illustrator, yeah, he's pretty quick. I'm thankful for that.
And then the color work was also fluid, or you
Yeah,
control
he
most of
does
that
a
with
page in
edits.
about a day, so
I mean,
sometimes maybe two
like you
pages a day.
right.
Sorry.
No, like you said, you found a team that had already well kind of works well together, and isn't it? The artist and the colorist, so they kind of let them do their own thing, and like that they're able to produce the art quicker. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, never be like guys like me that I gotta have my hand on everything. It's just delays everything, just bogs
yeah,
everything down.
yeah. I do try to give them some, leeway to, put their own spin on it as well, because I kind of feel like it's, their project also, not just like you said, don't hog everything. And
Awesome.
you sometimes you get some interesting things out of that by letting your team, experiment a little bit, and they, sometimes you get stuff that you didn't think about, and it actually turns out to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome. I'll tell you what, we're gonna go to the other projects, and then we'll do something that we haven't done here before. I usually do the full showcase on each individual project before moving on to the next one. But because you have obviously you have a lot here, and I still want to do what I usually do, which is obviously promote the campaign itself, and so I like to go through the perks. Obviously, we don't need to waste 10 minutes on it, but I just go one by one very quickly to show what you actually have here on sale. But I'm just thinking because we have two other guests, and usually I only have one or two. But I'm going to the other books, do a presentation as well, just at the pitch like you just said now, and then by the end we come back to this one, and then to the other two for their perks as well for their tiers. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
So I'm moving on to Victor Locke, Demon Noir. And so now I got once again it's 19 Masters, and you were saying to me just before we came on, what exactly had you done before? Because this seems to be an ongoing work that you have here, so an ongoing series. So what have you done before, and what is Victor Locke?
I have books Epitaph, Bread, and Salt. Those are the books I'm probably most known for. I did a film adaptation of that, which we actually introduced Victor Locke. And Victor Locke is he's a demon hunter, and he's prophesied, like, he's been prophesied to come to help fight off the demon horde. Nobody knows anything about these like, your average person, knows nothing about these demon hordes and things like that. So this is all underground. This is all magic, and the magic communities and places like that, or people like that, they know about, they can kind of feel and sense these things, but they, it's all something that's going to come ahead, at a certain time. But he's prophesied to be a person that will help fight off these demons and hold them back. Now, the thing about it is, he doesn't really want the job. Almost no demon hunter probably wants to actually hunt demons, especially considering the stuff like this that he goes up against. But he does do it. Sometimes he does it for money. Sometimes he does it, just because it's what he does. He gives off a spiritual signature, so everybody has spiritual signature, so they can kind of see what he is. Like, if he's in a place where there's demons, they will know he's there. So some of them may choose to run, some of them may choose to fight. He may choose to run or fight depending on what the creature is. And in this particular book, he has been hired to go after Dybbuk, which is a demon from Jewish mythology. He's been hired to go after this thing, but it's not an exorcism. The monster has actually become carnite. It's actually taken on a form, and that's the creature that you see in the trailer and everything there on the site. Right there, that's the creature you see, and so he has to fight that thing. And after fighting that, it leads to the discovery of these manuscripts and things that are being used they're ancient, these old books and things, and they're being used today to actually summon these very powerful demonic beings. And so that leads to a whole nother thing that goes on within the other books and stuff. So we're starting it here, and I'm going to do a lot of it through the through Indiegogo, and that way, people who aren't collecting all the books, they don't necessarily have to. They can kind of get the main stuff. So I'm going to kind of trim everything down so that it comes directly through here, and that way, people will be able to kind of follow that particular story. And again, a lot of things depend on how well this does, but that's my plan for the future.
Mm. Well, this is all pretty cool, man. Because you mentioned there, you guys have done a film, a movie. I mean, and obviously, I can see here through your trailer that obviously you shot footage for this. So tell me more about that. I mean, you're as well, you're a filmmaker as well as a comic book creator, or one came before the other one. How does that work?
Uh, it was a thing where, well, those were like the two things I knew that I wanted to do when I was younger. I knew I wanted to do comic books, and I wanted to do films. And at some point, I decided I wanted to bring my books to life, if you will. So using what I could, I just did the best I could to create the best representation of the book as possible. At the time, it was Epitaph, Bread and Salt. So I had the comic book, which at the time I had drawn like one or two issues of it, I think. And at that time, my art was garbage. It was like garbage tier art at the time. So I had the book redrawn by another artist, and then from that book we went and we did the movie and everything, and that introduced. Well, Victor was introduced in the comics, but the movie took place before the comic book, and so hopefully next year I'll be doing Victor Locke Demon Hunter. I'll be releasing the movie based on solely on this character. So that should be popping up in 2020. Right? I'm hoping to start pre-production on that this year.
Wow, nice.
And I just released a film about 2 weeks ago called Transit. So if you go to the Time Code Mechanics YouTube channel, you'll see it there. It's an action horror film called Transit, and I just released that about 2 weeks ago or so.
Nice, man.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, no, I mean, I was just saying, this is pretty cool. I mean, this footage that we're watching here, this is part of that movie you just mentioned, the Epitaph, right? The horror movie.
Some of it is. Some of that's Epitaph, and yeah, that's from Epitaph, and the other stuff was from Transit. The opening footage is from Transit.
Right. Okay. Well, listen. This is you got some great shots here, man.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to see how this works. It's nothing to do with you guys. It's just this player here in Indiegogo. Every time I try to press it, it just bounces me back. But this is pretty cool. You got a nice pen there on that choreography there. And so that's what I was going to get at. So this is available on YouTube. Is that right?
Yes. This one. I'm actually going to re-edit. I have to do a re-edit of this because YouTube demonetized it. So
right.
Yeah, I have to re-edit it and put it back on YouTube. This had been on YouTube for a good, I think it was since like 2012 or 2013 or something. This was on YouTube, and suddenly they just lost their mind when they had the first adpocalypse, and they just started demonetizing everything. And my movies. My two most popular films were hit: Epitaph, Bread and Salt, as well as The Perfect Letter. So both of those films got hit in the demonetization.
That's crazy.
Oh man! So you've been doing this for some time then? You've been doing this for some time?
Yep, I think my first one was uploaded in 2011 or 2012. It was a film called it was called Wages of Sin, and I played a police officer, and it's like a basic '90s police film. So I'd like to say that it's kind of like my Mission Impossible, except it's police officers instead of secret agents. So that's kind of what the way I see it, at least the way I see it now, because he's an undercover cop. At first, it was more of a Miami Vice kind of thing. The way I saw it, it's like Miami Vice, but in Chicago. And then I kind of see it as Mission Impossible meets Miami Vice kind of thing. I want to get him together with a partner and things like that for the sequel. So
Awesome. Okay, so you're gonna have to give us the name of that channel again, and then I'll drop the link for that place where you have the movies uploaded, so we can definitely check that out. They're short movies or they're long?
they're feature-length films.
A feature length. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. We definitely have to check. I mean, if the whole thing is like that, that's very promising, man. I mean, I definitely like that editing. It's pretty solid. You got some nice effects there, you know. Whatever you can do with whatever budget you have, it looks fine, you know. Then it definitely is a great promotion tool as well for your book. So back to your book. So you're doing the bulk of the work here, right? You're doing the art, the writing, and obviously we can see here in the trailer you do watercolors as well. Is that right?
Yep. Well, I do the ink wash stuff. I actually tried doing the watercolor stuff, and that didn't turn out so well. so I kept it with ink wash. I got inspired to try to. And I put the link for my channel in the chat, in our chat. But I got inspired last year to start trying to work on to kind of go back to the traditional stuff. So I was drawing on computer or drawing digitally, and I just kind of said, you know what? Let me try to do some of this old school, try to do some old school artwork and see what that looks like. And I was just taken with it, and I just wanted to kind of keep doing it. And then I said, let me knock out a project and see what I can do. And this is the result of that project. Typically,
Awesome.
my books are color, so
Right.
this is the first black and white book I did in a long time.
All right, man. Okay, so you seem to be an entrepreneur. You have a comic book label. You have a film production company. This is all awesome, man. We have
Gotta
have
keep those streams of income going.
well, yeah,
Right.
pretty soon
Nice.
you'll be competing directly with Disney, man. I mean, you'll have your own conglomerate.
It's all inspired.
Okay, we will come back again. Just like Chaotic Flux, we will come back to this one to check out this campaign in more detail, just to check then the perks you have here. And now we're just gonna switch now to Vinny, which has been waiting, and speak about Through the Woods, which is also a very good looking book here. And you guys all have videos here, so I'm gonna play this again, just like I've been doing with the other ones. Just I gotta maximize it, and we'll have a look, see what sort of editing you have here, what sort of
This
fight, what sort of fight choreography you have here on your trailer.
No, this is harsh.
Well,
I just grabbed my phone and I took a couple little quick
man,
ones.
I'm sorry, but after Demon Hunter, you got to pick up the pace, man. You got competition
I need
now.
action in there. I need
So-
actions.
You need action shots. You got the hot babes already, but you need those guys with the guns.
Well, in the book, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's a fight with a grizzly bear. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, no, it's this book. It is a ghost story. It centers around Laura Langley. She's an investigative reporter who inherits this property in upstate New York, and she finds out she's hearing rumors of ghosts and stuff like that. So as she's doing her research, she finds out more about the property and the land, and it was a loggers' camp 100 years in the past. And there's a certain situation that happens. Then that's where the murder and the setup of the story actually happens. But yeah, by the end of the first issue, you see how it all kind of comes together. And Laura, like, accidentally reawakens this restless spirit. Yeah, and then from there you see where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a pretty cool. It's a little tale, but I was always like inspired by like horror movies and stuff like that, Evil Dead. So I got like those kind of visuals in my head, and I always want things to be very cinematic.
Hmm. Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Well, first of all, we can see here on the picture that is bang in the middle of the screen right now, 3 issues miniseries. You even give the page count there. First one is a little bit longer, and so the inspiration for this is part classic ghost story, right? Like the classic ghost story novels, and also part kind of the more well, you obviously mentioned the Evil Dead there, so Sam Raimi. So would there be a little bit of tongue in cheek in this, a little bit of chaotic action? I mean, I can see she's wielding an
Oh yeah,
axe, and we got demons as
but yeah.
well. So
There's action in here. Like issue 2, I put a little bit of cheesecake in there because I did do like a test run for issue 1, and the people who read it, they really loved it, and they wanted to see a little bit more of Laura because they liked how sexy she was.
yeah,
So I
man,
put a
her
little,
actually, I just stopped in her butt. Actually,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. My God, look at it.
Edwin said the same thing.
You sure her organs fit inside that waist? Look at that. My God. Yeah, carry on. Well, I appreciate this.
Yeah, see, a lot of people did. So that's why we found a good opportunity in issue 2 to kind of have like that fun kind of cheesecake stuff in with the story at all, but it's just something fun to look at.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you again. I actually know a chick like this. I see her all the time where I work. My God.
Oh yeah.
Let's go down. Let's see what else. Let's see what other garments she wears. Oh, here we go. There's the shorts again. Okay, so
Yeah, that was another panel.
so okay, which side of the spectrum this falls more into? Is it going to be more of the mysterious kind of thriller kind of thing, or is it going to be like like she lurching at some demon chick, trying to use the axe to take off her head? Oh my God, look at that shot there. This woman always walks like this. She reminds me of. Carry on.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
You know our Crumb. You know our Crumb. Crumb created a character for the Mr. Natural comics, which is called Demon Girl, and she has exactly this sort of walk. Surely you've seen that before, man. I mean, look at that. She walks like this. You see her butt before you see her.
Yeah. She's inquisitive.
Right.
She's approaching cautiously.
My God. Oh my God.
But yeah, it's more on the mystery side of things, not so much the demon hunting thing. Because I didn't know about that show Supernatural until I was like done with issue 1 and in the middle of issue 2. I wasn't that familiar with it, and a friend was telling me about it, and it's kind of the direction we were gonna go in a little bit, but we pulled it back. We went back to the roots of when we first created the story, and we kind of stuck with that. So it's more of just like a contained little mystery, but there is a very dangerous element that he makes himself present in the 2nd and 3rd issue. Mm-hmm. So it is a contained story, but if people really love it and they want more of it, we do have a great idea for like a chapter 2 on this. But
right, okay.
It's like after this project, myself, I have like 3 other projects in the works, and my brother has a couple too. So like we're kind of mixing and matching things, and we have like a little world that we're building pretty much.
Okay, so you might be ongoing. All right, got you.
Yeah,
Do you take inspiration as well from some old classic folk tales? Because I don't know. I mean, but he's giving me here a vibe of kind of a Red Riding Hood kind of a scenario. Obviously, it will be a Blue Riding Hood here. No hood either, just blue dress. But you got the bear here on the, and then you got straight after that you got who looks like a huntsman with the wolf. Is it also part of the book that's sort of a folk tales influence?
A little bit here and there. Yeah, but this in particular, like the scene you're looking at, this is the 100 years in the past. This is the loggers' camp,
Mm,
and the girl is actually the daughter of the guy who owns the camp.
hmm.
So she gets lost, and she's doing things she shouldn't have, and then she encounters the bear. So the big man
No.
has to protect her.
Okay, and let me ask you. So you're doing the art for this. Is this digital or is it traditionally done? The
Well,
the pencil.
it's hand drawn, and then I painted on Photoshop.
Okay, yeah, okay, fine. So it's you start actually working on paper and you end up digitally. Okay,
Right.
fine. And let's just go down here. So the guy comes back as a ghost, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And yeah, we're already going here into tiers, so we're gonna go back to that as soon as we go into chaotic flux. And we definitely want to see. We definitely want you to tell us more about what you've done previously afterwards, because I can see here
Mm-hmm.
your the things you've done some cover work for and other
Yep.
things. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go back to chaotic flux and Scott. So Scott, we're just gonna take you through the campaign. So you have a flexible goal. You have 11 hours left, as we mentioned in the beginning. You still have a little bit of ground to cover, which will be great. That could happen, obviously, while we're here, and if that fails, and obviously you still have the support of the community for the rest of the hours. But being a flexible goal, so you do have. You have quite a lot of backers, so you're doing fine here. You have almost 200 backers, so you'll have no problem in printing this in a decent batch to be able to fulfill the campaign. But I believe you did mention that even if you don't get to the full amount, you already have a couple of vehicles where you can actually put some issues on sale. So you got some deals in some comic book shops already, and you have some conventions booked. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I do have a convention booked in San Antonio, Texas.
And when is that going to be?
That's going to be June 14th to the 16th.
Okay, so obviously anyone
Liberty Fan Expo is what it's called.
fan expo. Okay,
Yeah.
anyone
The
not
cast of Aquaman's going to be there, and the guy who plays Hawkeye in the Avengers, he's going to be there, and so it should be a pretty big show. I'm pretty excited about it.
you gonna have your own table there, or are you gonna be
Yeah,
under some?
Yeah, I'll be presenting Cat Flux and promoting and selling books there.
Okay, so anyone not getting their copies here for whatever reason, they still have a chance to catch you there, and
Exactly.
and failing that, you also have some distribution deal planned as well. Is that correct for the shops?
Yeah, I've started to get in touch with some shops. I have some local shops that are interested in carrying the book, but I haven't dabbled too much in that yet. The campaign's taken up a lot of my time, so it's kind of after today, probably, this next week I'll
Mm-hmm.
start diving more into that.
All
But
right.
I do have the books printing now. Also, they should arrive. I think it's mid next month. I'll get them all. And
Right.
I'm printing quite a few of them, but of course, enough to cover all the backers here and the campaign. But I'll have plenty afterwards as well to sell.
Awesome. So you got everything covered, and there's always the possibilities you're gonna have this in some comic book shops, and you said locally, so it will be local to where to the
Well,
location you
Texas area, but
Texas.
I'm trying to reach out as far as I can go, but it all kind of depends on
Okay.
how that happens.
So it's still an ongoing process. All right, let's just have a look at your perks here. So for everyone watching this, they can get the full issue ones. Really nice package you got here for 57. Why do I have this listed here in pounds? That's very strange.
I don't know.
I have no idea why, because usually I have them all listed in pounds. I have no idea what happens because I think Indiegogo just made some changes here,
Yeah,
and
maybe
just made
default
yeah, it just
region.
it just went probably into the local currency because I'm in London. But it usually just shows the currency of the campaign, the campaigner, basically. So if it is set in US, it would show dollars. If it's set somewhere else in the world, it would show the local currency. Usually, you only show pounds if I hover over it, like I'm doing now. So very strange. I don't know why you're doing this, but anyway, here we go. So for you have to tell me in dollars, really, what is this feature package? I can't see.
Okay. So that one that you're on now is $75, and
Oh, all right.
that's the All Out Chaos, which is everything that you can get that's available is in that package. So that's going to be the regular cover, or the standard cover of the book, as well as the chrome metallic cover edition. There's
Wow.
2 trading cards. There's both the um, metallic trading cards edition and regular trading cards. There's 2 trading cards each, but there's 2 versions. So there's a metallic and non-metallic, and they're going to be part of a series. So every campaign I do, I'm going to have at least 2 trading cards available during the campaign, and there'll be the different characters in the series as it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the cards I've chosen for this run is going to be one of Zathara, and then one of the Dread Fiends. And I'm doing them in the style of like the old Marvel 90s cards, where on the back
Awesome.
you'll have information about the character as well as their stats and little facts about them too.
Yeah.
And then there's also a metallic print and a non-metallic print available, art prints.
Mm-hmm.
And those are also available in this All Out Chaos package, or part of the package. And then there's also a T-shirt that's available. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think the T-shirt is in All Out Chaos, so it's everything but the
I want to
T-shirt.
do that.
So I made that correct. I'm sorry about that.
You're gonna have,
And then also everything is signed in the All Out Chaos package.
you're gonna have a metallic T-shirt. It's signed as well.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Now, this
I'm
metallic.
kind of curious. How would that look? I'm trying to picture that in my mind. How
You will
how
look
do you
very-
wash it?
I can tell you one thing. Man.
You have to like power wash it or something.
It will look very good on her.
Yeah.
that much I can assure you. Metallic or non-metallic. But I gotta ask you something. These metallic covers. Is this a pain to get printed? Is this a smooth process? I never had one done. So how do you go about doing these things with the printers?
There are special printers, I guess you could say, that do it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't found too many that do. I think I've found maybe 3. I mean, maybe if I dug deeper, I could find more. But so far, I've only been able to find 3 of them.
Is it nationwide or in
I'm sorry.
Texas? Is that nationwide or just where you are in Texas?
I think so.
Wow.
They print them and then just ship them out. The one I'm going through, I found on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Heroes and Villains Printing.
Heroes and Villains.
Yeah, and they do trading cards and comics and art prints, just about anything you want in metallic. They'll actually do it.
Well, great to know. Now it's already out there. So Heroes and Villains for anyone looking for it. So that's why it's great to bring you guys here, because everybody has done something different. I mean, everyone in their campaigns, in their projects, they always can offer a little bit extra information on something. So now we know there's at least there's one printer, Heroes and Villains, and they take care of this. Now I got to compliment you on putting this perk here as a feature one, because usually most campaigns have the all-in-one package right at the bottom. Which is obvious, it's natural. But I think it's a good idea. It's a good motion to bring that one up and put it right at the top. Basically this is the main package. You get everything in here, and then obviously if you want to start nitpicking and cherry picking, then you start going down the list. So I think that's a good move.
Yeah, I was thinking that it kind of eliminates a lot of digging through all the.
Yeah,
That's just want to pop in and get everything, except for the T-shirt, but everything except for that. Then just click on that and good.
All right. Okay, so I'm just gonna
a pretty decent price range.
Yeah, that's right. And you obviously you got 14 claim there, so it's probably a question of price range. But being that you have 175 backers, I can see now that most people are probably just going for the straight copy of the book. But still, I think that's a very good idea. Again, I'll just run quickly through the perks. I just need you to tell me is the amount in dollars for each one, because unfortunately of these that I just noticed, I don't know why, but it's here in pounds. So here we got the first perk after the feature one. It's this is not the PDF, right? This is just a just a support perk.
It's just if you just want to donate some money to the campaign. Okay. So it's like someone who's not even in the comics, but
okay.
just wants to help out.
And you get £2. £2 from that. $2. Now, PDF of the book. How much is that in dollars?
$5.
$5. Okay, cool. And then this is the one I actually more interested, which is just the nice standard copy. And so print version of issue 1, $10. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. I'm getting good at maths, depending on the fluctuations of the market. And there we go, 48 claim. And then you got a signed version of the print copy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only difference, between this one and the previous one. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And you go at the metallic cover. So metallic cover is, let me guess, it's going to be $18. Is that right?
20.
20. Oh, well, I missed that. And that's pretty much on this perk is just that. And then metallic cover sign. Got you. And then you got the Lux package. PDF signed print of the regular cover. And the trading cards. So how many trading cards you have planned for these? You must have quite a few, because you have quite a few characters. So,
yeah, it just kind of depends on how the series. Because I have a overall basic, or I would say more than basic, but overall vision of the story itself. But like as I'm planning issue 2, there's some things already in it. I've kind of changed a little bit and added a couple of characters. Mm-hmm. So it's still going to be a.
Oh yeah, you don't need to give.
On, I don't know how many characters are going to be in it. So basically,
yeah, you don't need to give.
I don't overwhelm reader either with too much, but at the same time.
No, I was saying you don't need to give the whole collection straight away. You can extend the trading card collection as the issues go. So introducing your characters on the cards as the story progresses. So. And then, did I miss one here? No. Okay, so now both covers, PDF and the comics. You have quite a lot of choices here, so you really gotta hear a pink, almost like a pick and mix. But you're doing the mixing. People only need to do the picking. What do you got? The both covers? So the both versions of the print. How much is that in dollars?
35.
35. Okay. And the Lux metallic package. So I guess that's what you were saying about having the trading cards metallic as well, the art print metallic version. Okay, cool. And the collector's package, PDF, signed comic, sign of both of them, trading cards. By the way, the trading cards you have in both versions. Yes, got it. Metallic and non-metallic. Okay. Retail is 10 regular copies, 10 copies of the regular print. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's 60. It's just for like comic shops.
$60, yeah? $60. Mm-hmm. Okay. And sorry, I missed the price in dollars from the previous one, the collector's package. What is this in dollars?
$50.
$50. Sorry, this is delaying things a bit, just the conversion here. And then the retail 20 copies. Got it. This is what, $90 or $100? The 20 print copies.
That one is $105. $105.
Oh, okay. And finally, the last one, she's kind of a pricey one. So what is this? $125, $130.
Mhm.
What do you got here?
That is so that's the all out chaos, but times two. So it's kind of the idea is like if you wanted to buy one for yourself and then someone else as like a I guess a gift kind of thing, kind of
Oh, okay.
kind of idea.
All right. So he's everything, but he's doubled up. Got you.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Cool. So this is looking very good. You got plenty of choices here. So the team is great, and I mean, kudos to you that you're planning a very long ongoing series. It's well, as we know from today's standards, series usually hardly get to 12 issues, and that's coming from the mainstream. So I wish you the best on this one, and I'm pretty sure you could beat that, at least going up to 20. But I tell you, if you get to 40, I'll eat my hat. So, now let's now switch again to 18 Masters, and you want to take us through now through your perks and see what you have
Sure.
on offer. Now, first of all, you have 26 days left. So this is a 30 days campaign, or is it a bit longer? 40, 60 days? What you got going?
I I think I think we did 50. It started out as a 50-day campaign, and a few days ago I got on Comic Arts Pro Secrets, and just everybody kind of jumped on it. So that's how we ended up here. Ended up at 41% funded. So
Awesome. Let me just go down then. Obviously, you have a fixed goal. It's different from Scott, but the amount you're asking is not terribly ambitious, so it's perfectly accessible. And tell me what you have here on the uh, featured perk right here on the top. First of all, just tell me what is this in dollars? $20, $25,
this is $25 US.
$25. Okay,
Yeah.
and so obviously because in your case you have the movies as well. Is there any DVDs or Blu-rays included included in this
I,
campaign?
I thought about that with the last perks because I only have 4 DVDs left. So I was thinking about including those in the very last perk where you kind of get everything because there's only four. There was a perk there where you get the uh, like these big pages that I like, these big prints. They're
Mm-hmm.
not prints. I can't think of what you want. They're like pinups. These pinup pieces that I do for the book, and
Right.
you can buy those pinup pieces. And I think it's only 4 of them. And if you bought those, you would get the DVDs because there was like a DVD for each print or something like that.
Yeah.
But for this particular feature, this is the book itself, the Victor Locke Demon Noir, the first issue of Victor Locke Demon Hunter. You get a poster as well as a trading card, and you get special thanks inside the book.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a page, where you list all the Indiegogo backers. So you'll get that inside the book.
Yep. Awesome. Let me just see how many backers you already. We have 36 backers. Okay, but again, you won't need that much to get to your total. Um, do you have a just similar to what I was asking to Scott? In case you won't get this total, do you have a way to go into printing and getting this maybe in some conventions or even some shops, even if this Indiegogo thing doesn't work out, or what?
Uh, yeah, I could do it, but I would probably just start the campaign over and
Mhm.
maybe not do a fixed goal.
Yeah.
But I really want to uh, get do it here, and because what I want to do is get the books into the hands of people who want the books, So it's, just, you want it, you
Yes.
say, this is what I want. So when I hit the printer, I can say, listen, this is what we need. This is how many we want. Maybe I will do some overprints, and then we could sell the overages. But this would be basically, this is specifically what we need right here. Print these out, take the overages. If people want to buy extra, if people are hearing about it and like, man, we want to buy this, then what I could do is I can go back like some of the other people are doing and maybe do another campaign, reopen it, or maybe put it with another book or something like that. And then people can kind of get into it, and they can decide whether they want to do that. And if this works out the way I think it will, what ends up happening is I'll just do basically all of my major books that way, and everything will be based on pre-order. So I'll get the pre-order first, or I'll get the Indiegogo thing done first, and then I'll go ahead and print the books that way. And that's probably the best way of doing things to make sure everybody kind of gets what they want.
Yeah, that's just something that a lot of indie creators do. They do this kind of a, well, let's call it a mailing list. So obviously with their group of followers online, they kind of send these heads up to everybody, and then they start collecting who's an interested party. So that's one way of doing things, which is quite a lot of work, but it's great to gauge the interest at least, if not even collect actual pre-orders. But I'm just gonna go perk by perk. I'll just describe them quickly, and you just need to tell us what is the value of these in dollars. So you got this Demon War perk here, which is just the first issue, and a trading card. So this is what, $10,
That
$9,
is $9.
$9. Okay, fine.
Yep.
Sorry, you wanted to add something to this?
No, that's just yeah, just like you said, it's just the book and the card
Yep. Okay.
for that one.
Okay. Double Down Demon War. What is it? $13?
15. It's
15.
$15, and what you get with that is, let's see, that is the. I think you just get two books. I'm going to take a look here. Yes, you get both books. No, you get two copies of Victor Lock Demonor. Now with this, you get the different covers.
Yeah.
So if we hit the goal where we can do the alternative cover, you get that, and you get the normal cover. So you get one of each, and then you get the trading card, and these are both floppy cover books. So actually, one is I believe one of these might be. Oh no, those are both floppy covers.
Yeah.
So those are both floppy covers.
I just gotta take you aside there just for a second, but you just mentioned the alternate cover. Is it a stretch goal?
Yes, it's the way it works is if we hit the stretch goal, you get one alternate and one normal. But if not, you just get two of the normal.
Right. Okay. So, what is the stretch goal to be able to get that alternate cover?
3,000.
3,000. Okay. So that's right.
So it's
Okay.
not very far off of 2,500.
Right. So you might not actually have that one on offer though, if you don't actually hit that stretch goal. Or would you be able to come up with something just for the backers of that particular perk?
We'll see. Because right now I don't. I mean, I have the cover done already anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yep, that's it. If you look to the left of it, that's the alternative cover right there. So it's already done. So but I don't want to give anything away. But let's just say that doesn't happen. There may be a way to get that cover in there.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, I perfectly understand what is the problem. The problem is that obviously then you got a different print run to deal with, and obviously you want to have the enough budget for that. So it's perfectly understandable. But I was just checking out how many backers you already have for this one. Since this one is already here, although it's a stretch goal. But anyway, moving on, we got the next one, Demon War Blast Back RPG set.
yeah,
I'll let you explain this because it just has a bit more here to speak about. What is it then?
Now, this is the $35 tier, and basically you'll get the comic book and you'll also get the Blastback RPG. We have a role playing game called Blastback, and you can get it. You can actually get the game right now off of Amazon, but we're going to have a special version for this. It's going to be kind of a nicer, more glossier kind of version of the game, but you get the book, you get the game, you get the poster and a card.
Wow.
So let's see.
And the game is, I mean, you filmmaker, a comic book maker, and you got also an RPG game. I mean, this is what this is a complete game package with a rule book and the box and a map and figurines, or is this the sort of thing we're talking about?
It's just a basic rule book, and it's a basic D20 style game, except for the fact you have there is a percentile based success test system as well, in case you want to, like, say you're playing with the D20s, but the GM says, okay, well, instead of playing just player against player, there's a thing that you're trying to accomplish. And the GM can say, okay, well, let's go with percentiles, and they can roll the percentiles, and then they can play that way as well. So it all depends on what you like. I wanted this to really be a success test, a percentile success test system, but I heard that a lot of people weren't fond of that, that some people liked it, some people didn't. So I just went with the D20 thing and then added the success test system as
Wow.
if you want to do that.
Awesome. It's still a lot of work, man. And by the way, Vinny, you're there, yeah?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, your girl has competition, man.
Hey, well, that's what it's about. Hot chicks, right?
I mean, exactly.
Well,
I mean, tell us.
You know what? If Vinny wants, what he could do is he could roll up, or he could create a supplemental guide to this book, because this is an open source role-playing game. So if you buy the book, then you have access to the play system, so you can create your own material for the game. Like, say you want to create a Blastback book to go along with this book, you could make that, and then you could actually sell that book yourself. So basically, if you buy this book, you can make supplemental material for it, and you could just kind of put it out there. So if you want to do a book for his character, he could do that. And then, and there's for his character, it would be great. What's your character's name?
Laura. Laura Langley.
Laura. Yeah. For Laura Langley, we have a thing in this called it's the Final Girl skill, and basically only female characters can have this, but it basically allows you to be gives you the powers of any final girl in any horror film. So you get bonuses to twist away from monsters and run and scream and shout and actually hit monsters with random things. So it's an escape horror. It's a superhero escape horror role-playing game. So it's got a lot of the elements of the Victor Locke Epitaph universe in it, or Night Phoenix Press universe.
That sounds really cool, man. Nice.
That is.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it matches some of the environment of Through the Woods. I mean, we can't wait to, if it is possible to do that then with the RPG. Can't wait to get both of them in a suite in Vegas. I'll pay for that. See all those skills in play, there's extended skills. Speaking about these kind of things, we got now this next perk is mature oriented. So Demon Noir jump set. Again, you got a lot here, so I just let you take it away. Well, what do we got on this package here?
This is a $50 package, and what you have there, you get the cardstock version of the book, and so this is where you have kind of a heavier cover to it. You'll get the print, the 11x17 print, the Victor Locke Demon Hunter issue 1, the Blastback role-playing game, and you'll get a copy of Zombie Girl. And the reason it's mature is because Zombie Girl is a little racy. It's a little bit of stuff going on there. It's not as bad as it probably sounds, but there's some possibly not safe for work kind of stuff in there. But that one is kind of vital to, I won't say it's vital, but Zombie Girl is part of Victor Locke's world, if you will. She's she's like a friend of his and stuff. So I want to get that in there too, because they know each other. Her and Victor, they used to be friends before she died and came back to life and everything. And they're still friends now, but he's just discovering that she's alive. So that's kind of the thing that's going on in the book. And there's the trading card, the special thanks, and you'll also get the sexy cover version of the Zombie Girl book.
Mm-hmm. Which is something that Xenoscope does on a monthly basis, so I won't worry about that. It's perfectly fine. Quite a lot of stuff here on this package, so that's pretty cool. And moving on to the next one, Demon Noir sketch cover. Another cover on offer, yeah?
Yes, this one is the $75 package. It's a sketch cover, so you're going to get the hand-drawn sketch. You'll get the poster, the sketch, the card, a copy of Victor Locke Demon Hunter issue 1, and you'll get special thanks on the special thanks page. And that's it for that one. But you do get the you get the post. You get the poster in there? Yeah, you get the poster in there as well.
One other question, another pertinent question here, regarding again the stretch goal. For the alternate cover, you do have a stretch goal, but for this cardstock cover, you don't. So will you be happy to be able to include this within your regular goal? Or is this going to kind of offset your budget?
No, that'll be fine. It's because basically for that, all it is it's like the way they print it, it would still be the same. It's just a different paper stock for the cover.
All right. Okay, that's fine. So if that has been agreed with the printers, that's great. And you also get another sketch cover, but this time you hand painted, yeah?
Yes, it's pretty much the same thing as before, except this time it has colors. I will attempt to watercolor. I'm only going to add as much color as needed before I mess up the book. So, so it's just a dab of color and make it look real nice and everything. And I also will probably I might do some mixed media on there as well. So I might do watercolor and pencils or something like that, just to make it look really nice.
Hey, maybe you want the cardboard stock for this cover, for the watercolor one, so you can go crazy.
It'll be a nice heavy Bristol stock. I've seen some of their covers before, so it'll be a nice stock to it.
All right. Well, you guys seem to have this quite well nailed down. Tell us, what is this next on Demon Noir original art? Is this a specific piece of art done for individual backers, or is this just one page of the book? What is it?
This is a page of the book. This is a $150 tier. You're going to get the cardstock version of the book, the poster, issue 1, the role-playing game, and you're going to get special thanks, of course, and an original page from the book. So it's going to be a random original page from the book. We're going to drop it in there, and when we ship the book out to you, we're just going to ship that whole thing out to you there. So you'll get that, and it'll be signed and everything.
Awesome. And how many more you got? One more original art pinups. Okay.
And these are the pinups that I was telling you about, where basically you're going to get a little bit less stuff here. Well, actually, no, you won't, because you get you get everything here, because you get the cardstock cover, the print, the book, the Victor Locke issue 1, the role-playing game, and you're going to get an original. We're going to do these 11x17 pinups. So depending on how many people want them, we're going to do pinups for the book, and I'll give a person, whoever gets this, they'll get a pinup with their order as well. So this will be an original 11x17 page that comes from the book. So they'll be getting that.
Hmm.
And finally, the 500. Wait a minute. There's
No,
oh wait,
you
there's
got two more.
yes, there's two more,
Got
and
the
these are going to
female.
be interesting. So with this one, you're going to get everything, but you're also going to get a special poster. This is only, let's see, only one of these can be done, and it's going to be a special pinup where it's going to be one of the characters. It can be Zombie Girl, Dracula, or Bathory, and it's just a pinup of the character feeding on that person. So the person will have to send me a picture of themselves, and they will get fed on by one of our lovely ladies or by Dracula himself, depending on what they choose. And the final one is the $1,000 tier, and that's going to be the her
Wow.
sacrifice tier, which is another interesting. Basically, we're going to actually do 3 extra pages. No, let's see. We're going to do 4. I think it's 4 extra pages, and it's going to be a thing specifically for that person where we're going to go through a little story of Ashen kind of stalking the person, and then she kind of kidnaps them and sacrifices them, and they'll get all 4 pages to that story. So, and then they get everything else that comes with it. So,
Right. Okay, sorry, let me backtrack you there just for a second. So you get everything in this package, and those are 4 extra pages to be included into the regular book only for this specific. So obviously the price would justify that. But so you include the backer on that story, and you include that in the book. Is that what it is? Is that what I
yes,
understood?
yep, it
Oh,
would be included in like all of the books.
all of the books. Oh, right. So having this done is just it helps you to actually push the whole goal up, and then you can actually include those extra 4 pages in every single copy. Ah, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's I don't think I ever seen that done before. I mean, obviously I've seen the draw you in the book kind of a perk, but to actually do a whole other section of the story that then actually complements the main story with with a facsimile of the backer. That's pretty cool. That's a nice idea. Well, you definitely have a lot of thinking has gone into this campaign. So that's all pretty cool. That
Thank
looks
you.
that looks awesome. And now obviously before we finish the stream, we're gonna have to drop all those links here of all your other work, all your other projects, including the movies, obviously. But now obviously it's time to go back to this. So I mean, by the time this stream ends, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be called the perverted old man, salivating
I,
himself.
I'm enjoying these myself actually.
Yeah, I want to know where you buy these shorts. I just want the shorts.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, do explain us the campaign while I appreciate this. Now let's go up here. So here we
That's
go.
funny.
So how
Yeah.
long is the campaign for?
We have another 31 days, but yeah, I made a little bit of a mistake when I put the goal. I heard bad advice from a couple of people, but I just want everyone to know that backers will be fulfilled no matter what. So if you back this, you're getting your books.
All right. Okay. Well, yes, okay. Well, you have the flexible goal, so obviously that is the worry.
Yeah.
But you also have a slightly higher price tag than the 2 previous projects. But the book is finished nonetheless, right?
Yep, totally finished.
Okay.
All 3 issues.
How's the work on the next 2 issues? Is it already on? Is already being produced, or are you waiting until you get feedback from this one to carry on the series?
No, yeah, no, I'm waiting for feedback. Like, if this really takes off, then if people want more of her and more of the story, obviously yes. But
Okay.
right now, I've been working on a totally different project, different genre altogether. So,
Right. Don't get motivated. You got to finish this one. We have to see where those jeans end up, where those shorts end up.
oh yeah. Well, if you get this project, you'll find out. 'Cause
Oh, right.
where it ends, it could be the final story. But if not, we left it off in a good spot where we have a cool idea on how to bring it back should people want more.
Awesome. I like that. An open ended kind of thing. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we start here with your. This is not a featured perk, is it? It's just your first perk, and you got the complete mini series. So how is this going to work then? Because obviously this is you here you're soliciting the first issue basically. Is that correct?
No, you get all 3 issues for $30.
Oh, you get everything. Okay, got it. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
all 3 of them. Yeah,
Oh,
that's why I put the picture of each cover.
right. So they're all okay. So you have them all made. Okay, that's great. Is a mini series only in one go. So basically, this campaign is for 3 books. Essentially, is what you get. You get 3 separate
Yeah.
books, which is great.
Correct.
And this is what? Is this what, $28, $30? What is the price?
The for all 3 issues, it's 30. The next tier is 40 because you get all 3 books plus the print of
Mhm.
the piece you really like.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. So $30, 3 books. So that's $10 a piece. Just doing a little bit of quick maths here because uh, I've been getting feedback through as the months roll out, and this is something I usually pitch at people. I asked them just like what you guys were mentioning here before about doing mailing lists and getting pre-orders from your fans and followers, and this is exactly one of the things I usually do a pop quiz about is would people be happy to get more than one book in a campaign, which is great in case, just like yourself, if you have already books done, uh, you know, you, you kind of, and it's a mini series, a self-contained series. Why not get them all straight away into the hands of the public instead of just releasing one by one and all that. But and that is usually a question: is how much are the folks willing to pay for a package of more than an issue, 2 or 3 or whatever, and how much do they think? Because obviously, once you have more than one issue, usually the minds of backers go into a kind of a division kind of thing, a subdivision. They kind of think, okay, well, it's $30 for 3 books. That's great. I mean, you have the numbers of pages here, so it's not a regular 22 pages. It's a bit more than that. You have 32 pages on the first one, 29 and 28. But usually, people minds, unfortunately, they always end up in the bottom dollar, which is yeah, but it's $10 per book. You understand? And that's always kind of a conflicting thing. So you've done that here. So you have all of them signed, $30, 3 books. So that's basically what it means. It's $10 a book.
Yeah.
You're doing okay. You got 19 claim. Uh, are you happy with that, or is it something that you would be charging less in the future, or you think it works? Obviously, you're getting feedback as we go. The
Yeah.
campaign is still live, but what do you think
Right.
about
Yeah, because this is my very first campaign because a lot of people said I should try to crowdfund. But yeah, because the first run that I did was out of pocket, and I was bringing them to a bunch of conventions. So, and I pretty much sold all of them. So I know that it's a book that can move. I
right?
just needed to get like more of a fan base behind me.
Oh, awesome. Okay,
Uh,
so you already got a bit of feedback on this. Awesome.
yeah.
Have you always priced each issue around this price tag at the conventions?
Yeah, about 10. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So obviously we already covered this one, and the next perk here, you just adding stuff up, right? So you got now a sketchbook as well. Sketchbook is how long is this? 20 pages, yeah.
Uh, 20 pages. Yeah.
Nice.
And I have like a little video of that on the top part
Yes, let's check out the
of
videos
the
because
campaign.
I was also having a look at it. Is it this one here? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a
Maximize
mix of
this.
different stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, there's
And yeah, tell us about the next perks while we watch this.
yeah. Well, this is basically It's a collection of like different convention sketches that I've done, or some like preliminary drawings from some of like my finished pieces. I even have an example of here, like a before and after. So you see like my sketches and then the finished piece. Yeah, I thought it was something fun and cool for people to check out. Because I've seen a lot of those at conventions as well. People have like these slightly smaller than a comic book sketchbooks that they sell.
Mhm.
They do pretty well. So I thought
Yeah,
it'd be pretty cool. Thanks.
it's something that back in the days, I'm talking about, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago. I'm thinking about the 80s. You could hardly get any sketch art, including in a comic. I think the first time I've ever saw that, maybe it has been done. It had been done before, and I might be wrong. But the first time I saw it, I think it was on some Epic Illustrated comics where they maybe put it a couple of pages at the end,
Right.
just to show a few sketches. But it was something that I only again remember seeing done in the 90s, more into the 90s as the decade roll out. The image used to come out. Image used to have a very interesting way that they would their books, as the runs would increase, the book slowly would have less pages on their main story, and then on at the end of each issue, more and more there would be sketches and fan
Right.
art, and the
I
bulk.
think yeah, they did it that way for a certain reason. It's because they were having too much fun with issues 1 and 2 that they were making so much money on, and then they were too lazy to finish off the next ones.
Oh yeah, well there was a lot of reasons while they were
Oh
doing
yeah,
that.
for sure.
The thing is that then it became kind of I think the intention kind of I'm not going to say blew back in their faces. Well, no, contrary, but I think it gave a little bit of taste in the mouth of the fans that to actually it will be interesting to see more into the work that obviously
Yeah.
taken into producing the book. So
Mhm.
eventually, that's I think that's as you arrive into the 2000s, that's when I think most of the comic book fans, comic book crowd, start requesting a lot of sketchbooks.
Mhm.
Because and again, I think most of those imprints like Image and other guys throughout the
Yeah.
90s, they kind of start allowing that desire in the community to expand, to the point that now there's a whole subsidiary industry based on that. Like now I see comic book artists that for example, like Scott Campbell. He doesn't even draw a page anymore. He just does the covers,
Right.
and he's
Mhm.
quite happy to publish once a year a sketchbook
Yeah.
dedicated to the work he puts into coming up with each cover. And
Yeah.
I've always loved that. I've always way before even
Mhm.
Epic Illustrated was doing a couple of pages of that.
Yeah.
I always
It's
love
'cause
to.
it's cool to see that kind of thing. That's why I threw it in my books as well. Like in the first issue, I have just a couple of pages. Like I showed the pencils on it, or like the rough sketches. Because when I was collecting too, it was the same thing. I enjoyed seeing that, the behind the scenes stuff, a little bit extra. Not that, unlike what they did in the '90s, they made the story shorter and then they added more of that stuff. I
Yeah,
have, I went overflow with the story, and then you get the bonuses as well. You know. So I
because
thought it was always cool that way.
it was it was very rare, the book where you actually would get a solid story, and then a lot of sketchbooks. That usually used to be a massive trade paperback. And obviously,
Yeah.
that was always the case. That if you really
Mhm.
wanted to delve into the making of the book, then you would go for the collected editions and the trade
Right.
paperbacks, and there
Mhm.
still were not enough. So when they really did those things seriously, when they put about 20 something pages of making of process, and the story itself would have to be about 60 pages at least, and those were really serious hardcover books for
Yeah.
collectors only. And again, this is a distinction I want to make. A collector only is not a collector. It's a different breed of collector. It's like an art
Sure.
collector. The guy that puts in
Exactly.
500 on a book easily, and buys. He's the guy that commissions John Byrne for a piece and spends
Mhm.
$5,000 on that. It's
Yeah.
a serious collector of art, yeah. And
Sure.
and that's what we should all be able to buy. We should all have
Yeah.
that money to buy those things.
I agree.
Where do the shorts end? What happens to the shorts? Want to know? What do you got here? Head sketch, the final
Yeah, it's
perk.
yeah. You get everything from the previous perks plus an original drawing.
Hmm.
For one of the characters from the book.
Right? Okay. I can't say anything else because otherwise they're going to label me as really the dirty old man. I mean, head sketch, shorts. That's it. I'm out of order already. This is all cool.
Thanks, man.
So the important thing to know here is that Through the Woods. Let me just switch here to this. Through the Woods is a collected miniseries of 3 issues, and you can all get them for, once again, the cost of this in dollars is $30. So $10 a piece, and you get the whole collection. Let's go back here. That's it. Okay, I think we went through all of them, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes. But now, just while we're here at Vinny's page, as I promised, he was just going to tell us a little bit more of his previous jobs with the gentleman we were just mentioning, the image guys. So you have done some cover work, is that correct?
Yeah, I worked for Image, but before that, I worked for Todd McFarlane. I was a lead designer at his toy company for about a year.
Oh, right. I got superstars here today, man. I got a filmmaker. I got the toy designer. I mean, come on, man. Cody Flux is blowing the competition away. Bloody hell, Diamond selected those. Tom McFarlane toy line. So we the lead designer for where you oversee the entire lines, or just a specific line, because he has more than one, right? He had the
Yeah.
comic book ones, the ice hockey ones, so and the rock ones. I have the Kiss band. That's
Yeah,
great.
I designed some of those. I did the drawings, the turnarounds of like all those figures.
With the
Um,
original ones, the original Kiss ones, they were from the 90s.
well, they made a few versions.
Mhm.
When I worked there, it was around 2000, 2001, because 9/11 happened when I was up there. I actually, the weekend I moved from New York to New Jersey, where the studio was, that's when it happened, 9/11.
Right.
So
Well,
yeah, it was crazy.
that's great
Yeah.
to have you here, man. I mean, I got to I got the first figures that they've done of Kiss.
Mhm.
They're pretty solid figures. I mean,
Yeah,
some of the hair they put on those figures, I think is real hair. I'm not sure what it is, but
well,
it looks pretty legit.
they did, I think, about 4 or 5 different lines of Kiss.
They did. I got the
Yeah,
exact first ones, and I'm pretty sure they're from. Well, they are from the 90s. Because I wasn't buying that sort of stuff in
right.
2000. I remember buying the also the Beatles, the Yellow Submarine ones,
Mhm.
and I still have I actually have both of those bands on top of a tower. So each one is on top of a tower full of CDs. So that's where I got
Wow,
that collection. And
nice.
yeah, the top I've made a little shrine to it, to kind of that's if there's a blank space on top of a tower, you might just as well put a couple of bands in them, isn't it? So you got Kiss on one, and you got the Beatles on the other one. Who else you gonna have?
That's
Of course,
cool.
you gotta have
Oh,
Kiss
yeah.
and the Beatles. You
Well,
gotta.
I did some work on the Metallica ones as well.
And yes, and I remember seeing the Ozzy Osbourne figure.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. The Kiss figures are definitely action figures. They have quite a few moving parts
Oh yeah,
because they
for
got their
sure.
instruments.
Right. Because yeah,
And
they wanted to add more, but Todd didn't really like joints back then. So
yeah,
if it was like fewer cuts in the figure, the better, because he wanted it like an art piece. So you
yeah,
have like one
cool
cool
thing. Yeah.
pose. Yeah, yeah. Stuff like
Well,
that. So
but the Kiss
but
ones have quite a lot of articulation. The
Mhm.
ones that he did after that, though, which was the Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm actually not sure if he did the Ozzy Osbourne first. That was probably his first rock related figure. But
Might have
that's
been.
maybe, I don't know. But when he did that one, that's when he clearly showed that he was interested in having a sculpture with just a couple of moving parts, basically.
Right.
and obviously then this is a whole other conversation we can have another day. But that's when the whole crowd, the whole consumer crowd, kind of separated there and then, because I myself am more interested in what he was doing with the Kiss guys, the first batch of figures, which
Right.
were definitely action figures, and they were figures of your favorite bands, as opposed to having just what he then did for all the hockey figures and so on and so forth,
Right.
which is a sculpture. We
Yeah,
just you
because
can kind of position the hand in a
yeah,
different way or whatever.
if you want a quick breakdown, it was like the era where everyone was buying his product was like the late 90s up until like maybe 2004,
Yeah,
around then.
that
So he had the movie figures, he had the sports figures, we
mhm,
had the Spawn lines. I designed the Viking Age line, which was like 6 figures and a horse.
right.
It was a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah,
Viking
music
Age,
stuff.
was that
Yeah,
the
the Viking
medieval
ones.
spawn, or that's not the medieval spawn, is it? It's just Viking.
No, yeah, it's not medieval.
I never seen
Yeah,
that one.
oh, you didn't. I
No,
threw a
sorry, man.
couple of them on.
Didn't want to upset you, but after a while,
Oh,
I
no.
just fell out of it. So I haven't seen that one actually. I'm gonna check that one out.
Yeah, I think you'll dig them. If you go on my Twitter, I threw a couple of them up there a week or two ago.
Awesome. We'll have a
So
look at
yeah,
that.
there's a spawn with a giant battle axe. There's the Valkyrie.
Oh,
Yeah,
that I
you'll dig them.
that I remember
Yeah,
seeing.
she had like wings coming out of the side of her head.
Is that Spawn Girl or Angela?
No, no, no. No, she was just a Valkyrie.
Oh, just a Valkyrie. Okay, great.
Yeah, because since it was like Dark Age / Viking Age spawn.
Yeah. Got it.
When
Okay,
we were
yeah,
developing more. Yeah,
because he did the
and then like
medieval Spawn, and then he did a couple more medieval themed Spawn characters,
yeah, he
and
he
that was
also did he he did a samurai line as well. I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah, I remember
he was
those.
yes.
going all, yeah, he went all over the place.
Because he had the regular Spawn series, right? So I think by series 6 or 7, or right, that's when he introduced the medieval Spawn, and then basically each series had a theme to it, right? And this is just a Spawn line.
Right.
I always loved the Spawn figures actually. Straight away from the beginning, they were good, and then
Right.
as you rework the molds, and when you rework the sculpts, they become much better. So by the end of I don't know, he was doing pretty good comic book figures, and then
Oh,
Marvel actually kind of started copying him in that.
yeah,
Um,
and they put all the joints in their figures, and that's where I think he hurt himself a bit back then, because then he outsourced to China, and there was a whole thing, and he almost did primarily the sports figures because that's what his big passion is,
yeah, I
and
mean,
then yeah, well, I know he's slowly getting back into it now. This year he has, I think, the DC license. He's got big properties again.
oh wow, okay. Well, he was doing very well with the Spawn line, and good articulation, good sculpt,
Yeah,
Yeah.
good, all these
he's talking
pieces.
about bringing back the Spawn line sometime soon.
Yep. Yeah, which
It
is
was
really interesting because he can't really outsource anymore, so he has to get the studio back up and running.
Well, he's
Yeah.
gonna have a movie coming out now very soon. So,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
and okay, so you've done some covers for Image, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
did some. I had weapon designs that actually made it into Capcom video games.
right. Okay,
Um,
so that's why Capcom comes
which
into play.
yeah, because I don't know if you guys remembered Onimusha.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of their big series back then. Todd passed on the first video game, and on the second one, I literally pulled it out of the garbage, the binder full of their characters and stuff before the game came out, because I guess the creator really loved Todd's quality, but the guys in the studio knew nothing about it, and they basically said, "Well, we made our samurais with Spawn. Why do we need more samurais?" And then I explained to them, like, I kind of had to pitch it on how big Capcom is, and and that video game franchise, and they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I redesigned like the poses and everything for all the characters. And I had a brother who's a sculptor too, and he was working there as well. and he roughed out all the bodies of the figures. And then we showed Todd, and he was like, "Let's do this. What are we waiting for?" You know. So,
Mm.
That's awesome.
Your
I need him
brother
a lot.
works in. Sorry, your brother works in most of these projects with you.
No, the one in the toy company is different than the writer on Through the Woods. Those are two
Oh, all
different
right.
brothers. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine.
But
Well,
yeah.
it's a whole family then. It's even better.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. You
But
also
yeah.
work with the Bowen Studios. You got some sculpts done for them as well.
Yeah, I did a couple of designs for him. I did Hercules, the Marvel Hercules. That one came out. Professor X,
Mm-hmm.
and what was that knight from the Avengers? I'm
Oh, the
blanking on
Black
his name.
Knight, Dark Knight.
The Black Knight, was that his name?
Yeah, the guy with
He was
the
an
black
Avenger,
tape, isn't it?
the Avengers character. Yeah, I was not familiar with him when they approached us, so I had to do research on the thing.
Yeah, the
But
black.
yeah,
Yeah, the Black Knight. Yeah, the guy that
yeah, because
is a black
yeah,
horse.
there were two versions of the character I designed. So I guess you have his classic look and a slightly more modern look.
Yes, there
But,
is. Yeah,
yeah.
one that needs to be
And-
smoother, shoulder pads and all that, and the shield.
And in Diamond Select, I did a whole bunch of stuff for them, design wise, because they had I did Cable, the Punisher, Hobgoblin,
Now we're talking about
J.
their
Jonah
toy,
Jameson.
their toy line.
No, no,
the Diamond Select?
their statue line.
The statue lines. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, they had
not the
they
actual
had
Marvel
busts. Yeah, the Marvel statues. They were busts they were a little bit bigger than the Bowens.
Mhm.
But yeah, they were pretty popular too. If you look them up, I mean, you could find them quite easily. But yeah,
Okay.
they were very popular back then.
Okay, awesome, man. I mean, time for some plugs now to finish this off as we're getting to the 2 hours mark. Obviously, today's 3 of you, so we're entitled to go a little bit over the usual time. Back here to Chaotic Flux. So once again, we got the Indigo campaign. So all you need to do is type in Chaotic Flux. You'll get there. Just a few more hours. So it would be nice to get the full goal amount. And Scott Payne, do you want to drop any other links that you like to promote whatever you have going on besides Chaotic Flux? You want to give us your Twitter handle or anything else?
Sure. So you can find me on Facebook. I created a brand for my projects, for my creative projects, or comic book related anyway, called Sharp Edge Comics. And if you go to Facebook, you can do facebook.com/Sharp Edge Comics. I have a page there. Also, there is the website. I have a Sharp Edge Comics website. It's just sharpedgecomics.com. And on there, again, I have all my things related to like Chaotic Flux. On there, there's a lot of artwork that isn't featured here on the Indiegogo, including character designs and other various things, as well as you can keep up a lot of the news on the comic. Although I haven't updated in a little while, I've been so busy with the campaign. But once that's done, I'm gonna get more on that, on keeping that updated with the news side of it. Also on there, I'll have listed conventions I'm gonna be doing, and as well as once the comic book finishes the campaign and I do the official launch, I'll have the book up on there too, where people can order it online if they'd like. And then you can find me on Twitter at Flux. Flux Chaotic, at Flux Chaotic. So just Chaotic Flux, but reversed. And I'm also on Instagram at Chaotic Flux 1. So just number 1, Chaotic Flux 1. And I think that's everything. And thanks to everybody for backing it. Really appreciate it.
It looks great.
It is very good. And so once again, just if the folks want to get into more of a one-on-one with you, so that's Flux Chaotic in Twitter, right? And the website is sharpedge.com. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, cool. So we got that one nailed. And now back to Victor Locke and Nathan Masters. Nathan Masters has too much
Yep.
going on his plate for me to be able to do so here. But we'll start by the usual
He's a one man
suspects.
creative army.
Bloody hell, man! I mean,
That's right.
he's gonna be swallowing Marvel very soon, man. He's a multimedia man. Where can we find you on Twitter if you want to just have a chat
On
with
Twitter,
followers?
you can find me at just at Nathan Masters, NATHYN Masters, or you could find me at Time Code Mechanics for both my YouTube as well as my Twitter. So I have it there for both of them, for both platforms.
Sorry,
I'm also on Instagram.
Sorry to
Nathan
interrupt you.
Masters.
Sorry to interrupt you because you just cut off as just you were saying your YouTube channel. So do you mind repeating that?
Oh yes, Time Code Mechanics.
Time Code
And
Mechanics. Yeah, cool.
yes, and you can find it here on YouTube. I'm also under that name on Twitter, but I'm also, but you know, that's the actual name. But you can find me at Nathan Masters on both Twitter and Instagram. So I'm there at Nathan Masters on both of those.
Okay. Well, no worries because once we're wrapped up in here, the description below the title of the video will have obviously all these Indiegogo campaigns links, but I will also drop your preferred web page. So in your case, I'll be quite happy to share your YouTube channel. So Time Code Mechanics. So will you definitely give me that link before we wrap up after the stream is over, so I can drop that link there as well. All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Now this one obviously has a low selling point here, and it's got plenty more days to go at. And Nathan has done comprehensive packages here with plenty of stuff included, different covers, RPG game. He doesn't have a metal foil cover, but he's got plenty of stuff there, and definitely worth a look. I mean, we got to check your movies. We really got to support a creator that puts so much, that invests so much time into this. I mean, I'm pretty sure you never sleep, so doing all this stuff. So let's get this guy over the top. Let's make these things happen. And then finally back here to Through the Woods. I'm not going to say anything else because I will get censored and this video will obviously get cut off, and we don't want that. But Vinny Tartamella, clearly a seasoned professional, hanging out with the likes of Todd McFarlane. And this campaign is 3 issues, so self-contained miniseries. And where can we find you if fans want to ask more about your designs of action figures? What's your Twitter handle then?
Vinny Art. Almost all of my social media is Vinny Art, and I also have on Facebook Mela Art World. That's my comic company. I'm going to do
Vinny Art, VINNIE Art. Do you also have a web page where you show off, like a website or something, where you show off all your work?
Well, I have most of it on Facebook, but I also have I'm on DeviantArt as Vinrock, VINROC.
And is that you have a lot of stuff there from your previous works?
Yeah, I have a ton of pieces up there, and I put a lot of my the toy designs on there as well.
We're gonna drop that link there. DeviantArt. That sounds good. It's always a good place to check things in high definition.
Yeah.
All right, let's close for today. Here we go. Now this isn't fair because I have other guests. So, oh no, not that. That's horrible. I got to stop sharing. Here we go.
She's my banner at convention, so a lot of people want to take photos with her.
Bet so. Life size. All right, here we go. Back on the normal screen, and I want to thank all the 3 guests. So Scott Bain and and Vinny Tartamella, and 18 Masters for coming over today with their
Thank you.
books. So once again, that's Chaotic Flux, Vitor Locke, Demon Noir, and Through the Woods. Don't forget, anyone watching this, to have a look at the description below the video. Well, I'll be soon be adding up the links to each one of these projects. If you are looking at this stream in the future and you have missed the campaigns, then don't forget to have a look at the other thing I'll be adding, which is the direct contact and pages of all these three artists. So you can always keep on following their work and maybe have another chance at getting these books. So thank you, everybody, once again. And you can say your farewells or anything else that you want to say. Say hi to mom, or tell me to go and scratch myself, whatever you like. It's just one by one. You have the mic again. Whatever you like to add on, and then there will be it. Anything else you guys want to add?
No, I'm pretty
Just
good.
thank you for having us.
Thank you.
That's it, Scott.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks
All
for
right.
everyone for backing the book.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
what we want.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Okay,
3 awesome projects. Run over to Indiegogo, get them all.
that's it. Thank you very much, guys. And I'm sure now you have other streams to go to. Scott is ending his campaign tonight. He still has an after party, I'm sure. So thank you very much for joining me. And that's all for today. Actually, I had another one of these yesterday, so 2 in the week. So don't expect another one next week, guys. I mean, that's it. I've done 2 this week. And that's pretty much
Reach your limit.
I reached my limit 30 years ago. So, but tomorrow, actually, just plugging the channel here now, we'll have a live drawing stream as we usually have. It's called Friday Night Live, and there will be Ibay Canales, which was recovering from a cold. So he should be fine because I sent him some videos of some Japanese ladies dancing. So I'm sure you'll be recovered by now. And we'll also have Jacob Sebesta, all the way from Czech Republic. He's another wonderful artist doing his own self-produced comic. And Carlo Rowe, which usually joins us from Ireland, the creator and artist of Deathsworn. You won't be able to join us tomorrow, but I'll have someone else filling in for him. A great artist from England, just from around here, London. I will be introducing him to the crowds tomorrow. A guy that has great work, and again, he's not that known to the crowds. So tomorrow will be his chance to show what he's got. But apart from that, just like the video, subscribe to the channel. That would be really appreciated. So the overlords of YouTube that have censored 19 Masters video, don't bring this one down either. So but anyway, thank you very much for all the gas, and thank you very much for everyone that dropped by and listened to this. Another time, bye bye from me. Goodbye.